One of the jobs we're going to do today is something that's been left behind. The tomatoes, put in the grow bags, abandoned, and we've been getting on with everything else, and they're in a bit of state of disarray. What we're going to do is fix them up, sort them out, tidy them up, and get them back how they should be. What we're going to do, we've got some canes. We're going to put them in the grow bags. Obviously there's no depth in the grow bags, and we can't put them through the grow bags because they're resting on concrete slabs. Put them into the grow bags, lean them up against the shed, and then wire the canes onto the shed, which should give enough support for the tomatoes. Loosely place the canes where they're going to be. Just going to put a screw in at each end, leave a bit of it hanging out, and then put some wire over the top of it. Then tie the canes onto the wire with a bit of string, and then tie the tomatoes onto the canes with more string. Canes are tied up. We'll now get some more twine, tie the tomatoes onto the canes, and then we'll nip out all the side shoots, give them a watering, and the tomatoes are sorted. That looks a lot healthier. All we need to do now is give them a good soaking. This has got to be a daily chore from now on. This is the runner beans, still covered in blackfly. We're going to have to just spray them every single day. There are other jobs to be done on the plot, and I'm going to get on with this one, and we'll move on to see what Phil's doing.
While Joey's spraying the beans, I'm on inspection duty. Just looking around the greenhouse, and some of the chilies are looking fantastic. We've got some Apache chilies and some Fresno chilies that are looking very healthy indeed.
Hi, welcome to Allotment Gardener. 21st of July. Weather is just brightening up. We are in this heat wave, but we're expecting thunderstorms by Tuesday, so we better get working around the plot and harvesting some crops. Here we are at the climbing beans. These are the fire tongue, one of my favourites. Lovely red colour on them. I'm going to be making these into a bean pakora, which my kids absolutely love. Dwarf beans are also ready for picking. I have a handful of those off to put in the barrow. The sultana beans also have a healthy crop. I think we'll pick some of those and get Phil to chutney them. The moment I break my own rules, look what happens. I told you in the last video I prefer to take the spuds out by hand. Thought I'd save a bit of time with a fork, and there we go. Straight in the ground, straight in the spud. Our experiment of planting the spuds with their shoots on has proved a couple of things. One, the spuds do grow, but two, even though they're a nice size, you don't actually get that many in your crop. That's the second lot out of the whole row of potatoes. Second bag.
Last week we put a row of peas in here. You can see they're starting to come up nicely already. Several comments on YouTube suggest that we're too late to put peas in, and you may well be right for many parts of the country. We're very fortunate here to be surrounded by houses all the way around, which keeps the whole area warm for longer. In addition to that, the season seems to have moved on a little bit, so we expect that we'll get these in, get them harvested before the end of the season. If we don't and the weather turns, who cares? We've lost the price of a pack of the seeds. One thing that's been very successful this year is the courgettes. We've got 2 plants in, and we've been harvesting them regularly. Now, we've got one big marrow developing on this plant here, so what we've decided to do is to take all the smaller fruits off and let this one grow and see how big we can grow it, because we've got plenty of fruits to harvest from this one here. So we'll harvest from this one and let this one grow, and let's see how big it gets. that's that. We've left the big one and harvested all the small ones, which we'll still use in the kitchen, and let that one grow. While we're looking at the cucumber bed, we've noticed that the squash is developing nicely. These at the moment are okay. The ground is quite dry and they're in no danger of rotting. However, we're expecting thunderstorms this week, and if we get the thunderstorms we're expecting, the ground will be quite wet, and these fruits are then in danger of sitting on the wet ground and rotting away. So if that happens, what we'll do is we'll take some of these tiles and we'll just place them under like that, and that will protect the fruit from sitting in wet mud.
Just finishing off the cucumber bed, we've taken out the last of the radishes, but I've just had a little feel around the moolies and we'll probably leave them in for another couple of weeks. Here you can see the collies. At this stage they are very small but very compact. In this heat there's a good chance that they'll bolt, so we're going to keep an eye on them daily, and as soon as we think that they're likely to bolt, we'll take them out. I'd rather have them small and compact than large and bolted. Whilst we've got the cage off the brassicas, we're having a look round underneath the leaves, and I've found some horrible little white bugs. Not sure what they are, but they're not having my brassicas, so we'll just rub them off and finish them off. Picked a big handful of Monge 2 days ago. There's a load more on here. You've got to keep picking them. If you don't, you're going to lose the plant because it will stop reproducing. So I'll be taking a load of these off and they'll be going in the barrow as well. Time for the beetroots to come out. I'm going to take them all out, but that's nice and fresh. A couple more of those in the pot. Line of spring onions, we'll pick some out. Thin the carrots again, and the lettuces that we put in are actually starting to show through. I shall put another row in the modular tray in the greenhouse. There we go, the beetroot's out of the ground. Bonus is the tops of the beetroots, quite often used in salads, but not me. I'm going to use them exactly the same as spinach and put them in my curries. Runner beans are ripe for picking. Unfortunately they're still covered in blackfly. We've been hosing them, as you can tell from the videos, but I've found a better way of doing it. You've been watching us spraying like this for some time, and it doesn't matter how close you get, it doesn't really get the bugs off. But what I have found is if you put your hand behind the plant, leaf, stalk, whatever, and support it and spray it, it clears them off completely and very quickly. And it doesn't matter, as I say, whether it's on a leaf, on the actual beans themselves. If you hold them and support them, the bugs aren't as strong as I am and they get swept away. As you can see, I'm in the greenhouse. I'm not staying here long because it is getting incredibly hot. In fact, if I stay here any longer, I'm likely to grow a couple of inches. I've harvested a couple of cucumbers. The tomatoes are coming on nicely and will now need a weekly feed. The carrots that we put in the grow bag, I've got to say, we're going to mark them up as a failure. That's about the biggest one that we've got, and they've been in there quite some time, so we won't be doing those next year. Got a few chilies to come out. The melons are looking good. It's nice in here, but it's too hot. We've finally come to the field of dreams. We've got corns on most of these. They're not ready to be harvested yet, so what we'll do is we'll finish this clip here and just show you what we've harvested in the barrow.